always as bad as they seem. They're not. Now, the truth of the matter is you can have concerns, you can have worries, and there are a lot of things that you and I are going to talk about tonight that probably should and could and would, and like I'm Dr. Seuss yet again, that should make you worried. If you watched our clip from earlier over with our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media, we talked about it. I opened up the book to you about what I thought. You need to go over to YouTube and listen to it. But we're going to talk a lot about recruiting and where things stand at the current moment with LSU. You had a big flip today where Kay Phillips was able to, in the waning hours of early signing day opening period, get flipped by an in-state school of his. After he committed to him, then he flipped, then he committed back. Well, you know why that happened. Texas wasn't going to afford to lose one of the best corners in their state. Why would they? But there comes a point in time where you can't keep losing top talent. There also comes a part where, well, you know, man, in today's portal, if a dude's not a superstar or is going to trend to be a starter for you within the first 2 years, they're probably going to be in the portal. Because I look at the 2023 class and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 kids have already transferred, and we're not done yet. Oops, forgot about Jordan Allen. There goes 12. So I get to the part where I just say to everybody that you get to a place where what is the best way to build a roster? What is the best way? We talk about retention, but the entire 2023 class isn't here anymore pretty much. At least your top two guys are not here. Deshaun Womack enters the portal. Lance Hurd is the starter at Tennessee. Do you think that you needed Lance Hurd? Do you think that you could have utilized Lance Hurd this year? Because if you don't, then you're grossly mistaken. Where you could have moved Emory Jones into guard to help out your run game, to help out your first-time starting quarterback. Is the money that Tennessee gave Lance Hurd something that you can put your head on the pillow at night and swallow? That's what she said. Is it? Because I know Lance Hurd has had his issues in pass pro this year. I'm with that. I get that. I'm with you. He's also dominated in the running game, and Tennessee's in the playoffs. Want to know why Tennessee's there? Well, it's because that they can match up one-on-one with another playoff team in Alabama and say, yeah, we're going to run the ball on you. Then they go 1-1 against two playoff teams. They win the game at home and they lose the game on the road. So we do got a lot that we got to mention and get to here. Carter Bryant going to join us in 30 minutes. So glad to have him in here with us. But we don't have a lot of time to waste. So we got lots that we need to talk about. So let me get to these super chats. We'll get to talking a lot of recruiting, where the football team stands, in my opinion, in the current moment. Carter will join us, and we'll talk a lot of the same. So a big show tonight, man. Matthew Conkle sends a $2 super chat, says, we are deader and than an effing or deaderin. He's probably just trying to say we're dead as F right now. Is it too far gone? I don't know. We're going to talk about it, though. LeVar Lee with a $2 super chat says, geez, are we going to win any bidding matches? I don't know. And there's people justifying not doing it. And I think it's bad business. Gus, I think it's bad business. I really, really do. Like if you're getting beat out for a top premier talent over money that you think, and you have told people that you think may be the best corner in the class overall. Like there are whispers that go out to the ether that a lot of people think that K. Phillips may be the top corner in this year's class. Okay, like true overall corner. All right. Well, if that's the case, what are we squabbling about money for? As we're fighting about money, we could be coming up with a plan on how to be better. So, yeah. Jackie Harris says, let them know, Blake. Help is on the way. I hope help is on the way. I don't know. To be honest with you, Jackie, I think that this team has a lot of holes in it right now. I don't know where you're going to go. I can make a very big argument of these things that I just don't know. Now, is there a trend for some guys to come back? Yep. Not all of the guys that you think are coming back or that you've been told that are coming back. I don't know if they are. Like, I really don't know if Mason Taylor returns. I don't really know if Emory returns. Will Campbell, let me stop right here. Will Campbell is not going to be on this team next year, nor should he be. Will Campbell, guys, is arguably the best left tackle in college football. And he's given up 2 sacks and over 1,000 snaps. That guy's going to have a long NFL career. He's going to go in the draft, probably top 13 to 15. He's going to get selected. He's going to make $20 million. Good for him. Good for him. But some of these other guys, man, I mean, if Garrett's probably asking himself who my weapons are. Who are his weapons? Because C.J. Daniels entered the portal today. After Brian Kelly said that he's not. We're going to get to that in just a moment. So, a lot of things, man. Michael says C.J. Daniels is the one that surprised me too. Well, it takes everybody by surprise because your head coach ran out there and said that you expect C.J. Daniels to return, and then he hits the portal. So, yeah. All right, let's get rolling. I got lots to discuss. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share. Share to all those groups if you're on Facebook and to all of those social media pages. You're watching us, listening to us on YouTube. Like, subscribe, notification bell, wherever you listen to podcasts. Rate, review, and subscribe. Let me get to our good friends over at betonline.ag, our good friend Tyler Alexander over at LPT Realty, and our good friends over at J&J Exterminating. Lots to discuss. We do that next. Stay with us. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way for you to wager on all of your favorite sports, contests, events with the first-to-market odds and lines. Find reviews for all the news for each league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, college sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports information for live in-game betting, props, and futures. Head on over to BetOnline today and use your mobile device to join and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code BELIEVE50, that's BELIEVE50, BLEAV 50, to receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That's betonline.ag, betonline.ag.
He will sell your house and find you a new. Well, Tyler's the man, he's here for you. If you want to buy or sell, well, it's not too late. Dial 955-0008. Just call 955-0008. Y'all call Tyler, he'll shoot you straight.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating.
J&J has protected Louisiana homes and businesses for over 60 years.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Let me send that. All right. Everybody do us a favor. I didn't say this either. Everybody do us a favor by hitting the like and share to all those groups and all those pages. You know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate all of y'all for doing that. It makes the show free and all that good stuff. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right. So we have already talked about this today, you and I. If you missed our show from earlier today, just go over to YouTube. You can see it right there from our good friends over at Service Hawk Digital Media. But Cade Phillips flipped to Texas today. And look, I know a couple of days ago he said he was locked in. Guys, it's just going to continue to be the theme. Money talks and BS walks. I mean, I hate to say that about a kid, but money talks. And I don't think LSU was off by much. I think it was highly competitive. All the same things that you continue to hear. But, man, a lot of us have been told through whispers, a lot of us think after seeing that Cade Phillips is one of the top corners in the country, and if that's the case, well, you have a room that really needed to be rebuilt. You went after 2 5-stars, and you're missing on one of them right now. Now, I know that Jakeem Jackson went into the portal, the kid from Florida that committed to Corey and was with Corey and maybe coming up to LSU, the Florida DB who went into the portal today or yesterday. I forget when he did. But here's the thing that I want to address. I think the burnout, which is the word I'm going to use, the burnout from LSU fans has been, well, man, listen, we keep getting these high-profile recruiting wars. It's coming down to 2 schools. You know, where's he going? Uh-oh, he's going to LSU. Then, uh-oh, no, he's not. And you keep being in these tug-of-wars and recruiting, and every single time, not every single time, but most of the times it feels like, well, we continue to lose these. And I see some thinking or saying or believing that, man, LSU fans are dumb. LSU fans aren't dumb in what they know that wins championships. You know, no one really truly understands about what it takes to see a program, whether it be in basketball, women's basketball, whether it be in football, or whether it be in baseball, what it takes to get there. And not only what it takes to get there in the old age, but what it takes to get there now. You know, I think of Jay Johnson going on the run that he did last year. Hey, man, high school kind of blew up. We had a lot of young guys. I'm going back in the portal. I didn't make it to Omaha. See ya. The last year, we were really worried about winning a national title. That's the year before we really went in the portal and got a lot of guys. Maybe a guy named Skeens and Tommy White, but who really, really cares about that one? But they're not dumb. And they want a recruiting win. They want a massive recruiting win. Even though LSU may flip a 5-star interior offensive lineman tomorrow in Solomon Thomas, things aren't always as they seem. See, you need O-line help. You know, what's interesting, what wins you football games is when you can dominate up front. So if I lose a corner, very talented one, and I can be upset about it, like, man, there's another one. But then LSU is now in another dogfight with what appears to be Florida for a guy in Solomon Thomas. Well, man, what makes me just personally, I want to win the battles for dudes that are up front. So if I got to lose a corner from Texas to get a guy in the interior that is the best guy in the country in the interior in high school recruiting, well, then I'm going to get him. And you know one thing? There's one battle I'm not losing. It's that one. So I can be upset about Cade Phillips. I can be upset that you've lost a lot of these recruiting wars. But, man, it somewhat gets made up a little bit, actually a lot of it, for me when you go and flip a kid from Florida State that's not being talked about enough. Now you got to close. We can come out here tomorrow and say, hey, man, in the wee hours of the morning, Billy Napier said enough is enough. Solomon Thomas, bring yourself over here. So us talking about this at this exact moment could be flawed and just be on repeat. But then you turn another page to a recruiting war. And, man, it would appear as if the top player in your state, and Jakeem Stewart, kind of trending that he might not be in your class. Might not be. I don't know. That's where it seems to trend. But you never know what guys like Frank Wilson will ultimately do. I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know how this one plays out. I don't know. I have my gut feeling on it. My gut feeling on it at the current moment is that it doesn't feel great. But I don't have a pick in for the kid anymore. If you're on the forum, you know that. I'm like, look, man, this one's getting a little hairy, and I'm out. I'm out. Guys, when you win national titles and you win games, it's when you recruit. Recruiting is the lifeblood that fuels the dreams of champions. And if you're not recruiting top-tier talent to come to your school, historically, what the world tells us is when that happens, even with parity in the new age of the transfer portal and things of that nature, man, the top teams that have recruited the best and evaluated the best and developed the best are going to win. They're going to win. So as an example, when I look at the 12 teams that are in the playoffs right now, they're in the hunt of the playoff. What did they all do? Oh, well, Blake, this team's not in the playoff. That team's not in the playoff. Okay, sounds good. All 12 of the Power 4 schools, you know what they did better than you? They recruited better. They evaluated better. They scouted better. That's just the truth. So I am happy that you have the potential to flip a guy in Solomon Thomas. Really, I am. I think I want a great guard. I want a really good guard that you can line up and run behind because he's snapping necks and cashing checks like it's the Catalina wine mixer, and you can get behind the big hog molly and run right through people. Guys, the last time you ran the ball effectively in the interior was when you had a guy named Anthony Bradford at guard. You need a mauler. You need a nasty son of a gun. A Texas rattlesnake. You need somebody that is aggressive as a bear going after salmon. But there's one thing I do want to point out. What I want to point out is I don't fault these kids for flipping. I don't blame the parents for telling their children to flip. Hey, man, let me just tell you. Let's just say hypothetically, using whole numbers here, one school's going to give me one school's going to give me $1.2 million. One school's going to give me $600,000 or $800,000 or $750,000. Son, the difference in that is 7-8 years of my salary. 7 to 8 years of my salary. That's the equivalent of the difference here. But the bottom line remains, and the way I set this whole thing up tonight to talk about this is simple. If you don't bring in top-tier talent, if you don't evaluate and just bring in like, hey, man, this kid is really underrated. He's going to be a superstar. We're going to bring him in here. If that doesn't happen consistently the way that Michigan did, the teams at the top that recruited the best will continue to be there. They will. Georgia will be there. Ole Miss will be there. South Carolina, who, let's just be real with one another, got the kid at quarterback that was probably the steal of the whole recruiting class. And Lenora Sellers. They went and got a true freshman at D end and Dylan Stewart, who is killing people. Remember the battle that you got in with Colin Simmons. So it's a give and take here. You're not going to win all of them. You're not. You won't. There's not enough money. Because if anybody could do that, they'd have a class like Jimbo did. But man, you look at a guy, you look at a Dylan Stewart, a Colin Simmons, and you just say to yourself, man, to have that production that those teams are having right now, what dollar amount would you put on that? What dollar amount? Because I know and you know that if Colin Simmons, who had a big sack against, what was it, Georgia or A&M, whichever one, is it worth helping send you to a playoff? Is it? I think it is. So, look, man, since NIL has started, you're 39-23. So since 2000, when NIL was enacted, per season, you're winning 7.8 games per season. 7.8. You're an 8-4 football team. Now, 2 of those years were outright chaos, and it's not fair to Brian Kelly. It's not fair to him. It really isn't. But you have lost a lot of top talent out of your state. You need safety help. Well, the best 3 safeties that you could have gotten in your general area did not come here. They didn't. You got one of them in Deshaun McBride, Deshaun Spears. So the news seems like, look, man, you're falling. And it's the constant reason why. It's all the same reasons as to why. There's no different dynamic here. See, then you get in the portal. And let's talk about the portal right quick. Guys, just in the last couple of days, you've lost Ricky Collins, Jordan Allen, Deshaun Womack, and C.J. Daniels. We need to C.J. Daniels last. Look, man, I talked about Deshaun Womack in the postgame. And when talking about Deshaun Womack, I know a lot of people are like, well, hey, man, he's there. I mean, what's going on? And I'm like, look, man, he's unproven. You probably need an edge. We talked a lot about what the direction I thought LSU needed to go. I thought you needed an edge rusher. We discussed that at length. I like Deshaun Womack. He committed to LSU on my show. I'm telling you, I love the kid. He's a great kid. I think there's some things that he needs to work on, but, you know, so do all of us. Kid couldn't get on the field for whatever reason. Whatever reason it is. Whether they didn't want to play him for whatever reason, I don't know. But then Deshaun Womack hits the portal. Guys, that was who you were hoping that could be your guy next year at edge. That is a potential starter. He's a potential starter. So he's gone. Guys, Jordan Allen, I mean, at the current moment, I think you're going to get some safeties, but at the current moment, Jordan Allen with major burns to announce that he's out. Like, hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm out. See you later. I mean, the kid would have started for you probably. At least been in the fold in doing so. And then Ricky Collins. Only thing I'd say about Ricky, good luck to him. I don't think he could play here. Said that for a long time. Don't think Ricky can play here. Just because you haven't seen somebody doesn't mean that, oh, well, you know, whatever. Let me get to CJ Daniels. So, CJ Daniels entered the transfer portal today, and he was one of your top wide receivers. And it's a big deal because Saturday, Brian Kelly said that he believed that CJ Daniels was returning, and he didn't. He's in the portal. Not necessarily sure what's going to happen there. I mean, technically, could he come back? I guess. But his former quarterback just went in the portal, and Caden Salter. And wherever Caden Salter's going, I would expect CJ Daniels to follow. That's what I would assume. So when BK went into the press conference saying what he said, that, hey, man, I expect CJ Daniels to be back, that those kinds of receipts are taken by fans. I'm not trying to call him out or anything like that, but it is. But it is. So right now at wide receiver, what you have that is proven outside of Kyron Lacey, who's gone, is Aaron Anderson and Xavion Thomas. So now you definitely have to hit the portal because Sheldon Sampson hasn't shown that he can be a good receiver. He can't. Kai Prean is gone. I don't know anybody in that room right now that would scare me, which brings me to this point. Guys, is there anything on LSU's team right now that scares you? Like you go in that game like, man, bro, we might beat LSU, but bro, that secondary is good. Or bro, they gonna run the ball at you. They gonna out physical you, man. You're not built like that right now. Name the position group. I dare you. Because your left tackle is gone. Both of your guards are gone. Your right tackle may be gone. So you're having to replace almost maybe an entire offensive line. Maybe Emory does come back. Who knows? Now you got guys like Weston Davis, who was a 5-star. Can a Solomon Thomas start as a freshman? I don't know. Can Carius Kern? I don't know. Can Tyree Adams mold into being a good left tackle? I don't know. I don't know. But this year, as I've been telling you, there's no way. Guys, we have been talking so much. There's no way that you can't go in the portal. You're going to have to get some serious talent. The 2023 class, Lance Hurd, Womack, Jalen Brown, Jackson Howard, Michael Daugherty, Jackson McGohan, Mac Markway, Kai Prean, Ryan Bates, Ricky Collins, Jeremiah Hughes are gone. They're gone. The other guard that you put in this class was Miles Frazier. The class before was Miles Frazier. He's gone. Deli's gone. Will's gone. So you have a receiver room that is vastly unproven outside of Aaron Anderson. You have a O-line that you're completely replacing. Maybe DJ Chester comes back. I mean, clearly I hope so because he's really the only thing you have definitively at the current moment. Maybe Emory does come back. But even then, you're replacing 3 starters. I don't know what you're going to do at running back when you need to carry the ball on 3rd and 2. Like, I don't. You don't have a proven edge guy. I don't think that you have a true middle linebacker. What are you going to be at DT? Now, do I think, so I say all that to say this too, do I think that you're going to be able to replace a lot of these positions? Yeah, I do. So for what it's worth, I do think LSU is going to spend some money in the portal. Can they get top premier guys? I don't know. But I think that they're going to go into the portal and do what they need to do. Who scares you? So, look, man, you got a lot of answers that you got to, you have a lot of questions that you have to answer. A lot of questions that are on the board for you right now. Think about this. Man, Lance Hurd, Deshaun Wilmec, Jalen Brown, Jackson Howard, Michael Daugherty, Jeremiah Hughes, Ricky Collins, Ryan Bates, Kai Prean, Mac Markway, and Jackson McGohan. That's half your class. They're gone. They're gone. If that's why getting top premier talent is the biggest deal. It's such a big deal. Let's look at our defense for a moment, shall we? Swinson came from the portal. Sean Washington, I guess, technically. But he was a JUCO go, so no. Gio Paez. Your entire secondary. I think I solved the Rubik's Cube of what you got to do. Really, I do. These top premier guys they're worth the money because the guys that are below them, so let's say you get 5 or 6 top 100 guys, okay? What we've seen in the portal era, the guys below them are gone. They're gone. They're not sticking around. So when that's the case and all this parity is happening and those guys don't get developed here for you, that's why the premium dollar amount is for that person. It's for that person. Man, oh, man. Man, oh, man, oh, man. Oh, by the way, you got to go get a quarterback. You got to go get a quarterback. You got your whole team's going to be brand new next year. You need an edge. You probably need a defensive tackle. You need another edge. You need a linebacker. You need a corner. You probably need a safety or two. Whew. Oh, you need 3 offensive linemen. That's 12. Oh, boy. Tim Benson says, Blake, how much of 2025's success depends on Nuss returning now? A lot. And I would tell you, even if Nuss returns, guys, if he doesn't have things around him, like think about this. I know his O-line play was bad at times this year, but man, you're potentially replacing 3 at minimum starters. At minimum. He doesn't like to run. So it's big, Tim. 337 says, does anyone know what happened to Caleb Jackson? Disappointing. We talked about him so much this offseason. I don't know. I think they made him put on too much weight. It's the only thing I can muster. Only thing I can muster. So, all right, let's get moving. Carter Bryant joins us next. We talk about the mayhem. Stay with us. Guys, I want to talk to you about our good friends over the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company. Are you facing tough times due to an injury from a car accident, navigating the complexities of divorce, or purchasing a new home? At the Drake Williams Law Firm and Drake Title Company, they understand the challenges you're going through, and they are here to help. The lawyer team of Ernie Drake III, Ryan J. Williams, and Summer Vignair, along with Morgan Daniels, have the experience and proven track record to give you that peace of mind. Give them a call today at 985-386-7600. That's 985-386-7600 to schedule a free consultation at their brand new office located in historic downtown Ponchatoula. They're also doing a special, the AYS special. If you're refinancing or closing on a home in Southeast Louisiana, request the Drake Title Company to handle your closing. If you mention Blake Ruffino and AYS, you're going to receive a $400 discount on title fees. Again, give them a call at 985-386-7600. Let them know that Blake Ruffino sent you on. Guys, you might know my good friend Carol Falls and all the great service that he provides over at State Farm. He is your good neighbor after all. But did you know State Farm has surprisingly great rates as well? Along with a great neighbor service, State Farm agent Carol Falls has surprisingly great rates for everyone inside the state of Louisiana. So call him today at 985-395-4300, 985-395-4300 for all of those surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life insurance needs. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to the State Farm underwriting requirements.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. No, not mud bugs. Unwanted bugs like these. The ones you don't want crawling in your home or business. Trust the Shield from J&J Exterminating. We've been protecting Louisiana homes for over 50 years, earning the trust of our clients because we deliver what we promise. Protect your home from pests. Get the Shield from J&J Exterminating.
J&J Exterminating. Yeah.
Carter, the Power Bryant. Good evening, good sir. How are you?
Blake, good to have you. I say good to have you. Good to be with you on this glorious, mind-melting Tuesday. I do want to start off with something positive. Shout out to Will Campbell. Go make $1 gazillion. Be our first offensive line first-round pick since 1998. Definitely need to end that streak. So really excited about that, man.
Was it 1998? So Whitworth didn't go in the first round?
No, in the second round.
Gotcha. Well, cool.
Alan Faneca. So Gable, he's already had
maybe we need to start getting guys like Solomon Thomas. Maybe we should start spending all the money that we have on interior and defense and offensive line and just say, you know what? We're going to get the best guys in the line of scrimmage, and we're going to dominate you physically. And if we're not going to get in recruiting battles with corners in other states, if we're going to get in recruiting battles, we're going to go after the big hog mollies.
Yeah, I mean, there have been more elite corners that have busted recently in recent memory, and the recruiting services have actually gotten better at picking out the best offensive linemen. So Will Campbell being one of those guys. Kelvin Banks was also a 5-star. He's going to be a first-round pick. So they have gotten better at offensive tackle. And look, I'll say this once and I'll say it again. Just because someone is transferring into LSU or any school, if the first thing that someone says about them was their high school recruiting ranking, probably not going to be good because, you know,
or it is going to be good and it's not going to pan out for them in the portal. That's why they're in the portal.
Yes, exactly. So one of those things. Like LSU has brought in a lot of like 4-star guys to help, but there's a reason why it didn't work out at the first school. So
yeah, I mean, Denver Harris is a massive bust.
Yeah. And there's quite a few on this team. So
would you consider Deshaun Womack a bust?
No. And he started playing better, Blake. He really did. As the season moved on, you saw him take some coaching from Kevin Peoples. Last year, Blake, he had a really bad problem with just running past the quarterback when he would get even with them. And this year he did a lot better at doing that very thing. I believe he had a big sack versus Jackson Dart, retracing his steps. So he got better as the season moved on. And LSU just decided to not play him. It was something happened to where he didn't travel for the Florida game, and he decided to part ways. And I hate it for you. I know you don't take anything
again.
like
didn't play again.
Yeah, and I know you don't take this stuff like too personal, but I hate that you're a big part of this young man's.
Oh, I'm not him or DeCorian Moore. It has nothing to do with me. I was the vessel that they used to come here.
Right. They would have just found someone else to do it. But I know.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Like I'm not there to develop them. I'm not developing them every day. I'll do it again. It's not. I did Chase Thomas. I hope he kills it. Right? Like I hope he kills it. So I mean, I'm not going to stop that. If I get asked, I'm going to do it. Carter, let's get down to brass tacks here. You better destroy the portal. You better destroy it. Yeah. So your thoughts on what's been going on with LSU lately, K. Phillips, CJ Daniels. I mean, it's been a big day, and a lot of people tell me if you think that I'm wrong first. I feel like a lot of people are in the dumps.
Yeah, you should be. I mean, CJ Daniels was a very good player this year for LSU. The final numbers don't really, bear that out because he had no touchdowns, but first out-of-state wide receiver at LSU to have 40-plus catches since Terrence Tolliver. It's hard to play wide receiver here, especially if you're not from Louisiana. There's always Louisianimals that are ahead of you, and he fought through injury, Blake. He was in a lot of pain after the South Alabama game went down, and he, missed the Ole Miss game, obviously, but he played through a lot. He was in walking boots. The guy really put it out there for us. And I'm not sitting here and telling you that he's like some special Brian Thomas Jr. level player, but he was good. I mean, he got other guys open. He blocked really well, played really hard. And he had some of the worst touchdown luck I've ever seen from any. Actually, it is the worst touchdown luck I've ever seen from any LSU player. So he should have had at least 4 or 5, and he ended up with 0. So I can understand him being frustrated. I can understand Caden Salter entering the portal. He still has a good relationship with him, potentially wanting to go play with him somewhere. But it's a big loss. And Blake, it's also just a disconnect. When Brian Kelly said, hey, we feel really good about him coming back, and CJ, kind of reiterated those same things just for this to happen. And, the same thing happened with Cade Phillips as well, Blake, where he said, hey, I'm shutting it all down. Well, this is what happens when you have the freedom to do whatever the hell you want, right? You can flip-flop in an instant, right? This is basically you're driving down the avenue and you're like, hey, I want McDonald's. Well, Burger King's right next door. I could just do it. There's no like time period for you to decide this. I mean, there are windows, but since we're in this window right now, you could do whatever you want until you actually have to sign the dotted line or whatever.
The dotted line doesn't matter anymore. Remember, Ross Dallinger reported that letters of intent don't mean anything. They have 60 days after signing a letter of intent, and they can get out of it. Yeah. So they don't. I mean, even if the kid cannot go on campus, he can't enroll. He can't be on campus. So any of these kids not being midterm enrollees, it doesn't matter. But Carter, here's my problem. Okay, this is why I think missing on some of the top talent is a big deal. Okay, when you're missing on the top guys and you're not paying them, okay, what happens to the back half of the class everywhere, it's happening in everybody right now. Those kids are hitting the portal. They're gone. 11 and what could be 13 kids from the 2023 class are going to be either they're gone or you have a pretty good feeling that there's a chance that they might be out the door. So there comes a part where we keep arguing about the not paying the money to the top guys, right? But the problem is you don't have the guys lower long enough, and you're really not holding on to retention because you're not developing guys from within. So either you're telling me the whole 2023 class was gone. By the way, the top 2 prospects that you had in your 2023 class, gone.
Yeah. Lance
Hurd should have been your right tackle. Emory should have been your right guard or left guard. Just how it should have played out. So now you're in a situation where now, Carter, does the Lance Hurd money matter now? Does it matter now? So when you're having these conversations with people, when I am having these conversations with people, and they're like, it's too much for somebody. No, because now you're in a situation where you have a head coach that's sitting at the podium saying, we're going out there to be aggressive. And now you're spending money that you would have spent originally.
Yeah. I think one thing happened, Blake, is LSU's inactivity, if you will, in the last portal cycle is kind of catching up to them now. Not only because, the season was so mid, to use a young man's term here, but also like those guys would have made LSU so much better this year. There would just be so much more positive momentum right now for the team. And Blake, one thing that's happened, and I don't know exactly why this is the case. It could be development. It could be a lot of different things. But this was also at the end of the Orgeron tenure. There have been a lot of top 150 guys that just have not been in. They've been duds for whatever reason. It's tough. There's still been really good players. But, when you miss on those guys or when you actually land them and they don't pan out, it still hurts the same. I could even argue, Blake, it's worse when you land those guys and they come in and they don't pan out. Because you look at LSU's hit rate on not only their top 150 guys in the early Orgeron tenure and before that, the Miles tenure, it was unfreaking believably high, right? They had a relatively high superstar rate. They average about 3.5 to 4 superstars per recruiting class.
Yeah, and, O's 2018 class had 2 premier NFL wideouts in it.
Right, and the 2017 class, to me, is the best LSU recruiting class of all time. When you factor
they had a lot of defenders in that one.
Yes, so that was Chason all the way down to Jefferson.
You got to give Ed credit, man. Ed recruited his ass off.
Yeah, and he developed well. And a lot of that was Aranda.
Just had problems not hanging out with blonde-haired, big-titty white women.
Yeah, O was good. In the early Orgeron tenure, you really can only criticize him for the Troy loss, and the next week you beat Florida in the swamp. So, you get to now, there's just a lot of these guys just don't pan out. Now, it's not just an LSU thing. There's a lot of schools that are dealing with it. And I think one thing that's hurting a lot of these young men is indecisiveness, right? Because now it used to be when you were a top 150 guy or just anyone, when you signed the dotted line, you're there at least 2 years, at least, right, to try and make it work out. What a lot of these kids go through, whether it's, I could get more money here. It's not just I can get more money here if I put myself back in the portal. It's also, man, I made the wrong decision for my own personal development at the beginning. And you can kind of see it, right?
Carter, let's run through it. Jackson Howard's position coach was gone. Deshaun Womack's position coach was gone.
Yes.
McGohan's position coach. Mac Markway. Kai Prian was processed. Ryan Yates. Ricky Collins. Jeremiah Hughes. That's a really bad hit rate.
Yeah. No, it's disastrous. And one thing, Blake, was the 2022 class was so high of a hit rate. Like 5 of the 15 players
Well,
not only signed, they were superstars.
And your portal hits have been massive. Let me read these off to you. Jared Bernard Converse, Jaden Daniels, Mekhi Wingo, Greg Brooks, Mekhi Garner, Braden Swinson, Aaron Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, it was unbelievable. And then these last couple of classes have been duds. I mean, it's just it's hard. It's hard. It's really hard. Now it's not totaled. I mean, you have Whit Weeks and Ashton Stamps is interesting, but Blake, it's hard. It's been really
Those
hard.
Guys can't be your premier talent. Sorry.
Yeah,
they can't be. So again, you may get DJ Pickett tomorrow. You might get Solomon Thomas. You might get these guys. Okay. Look, if you're on the forum, I put it up there. I don't think you're getting Jakeem Stewart. I think at the current moment, that one looks really bad. Okay. So Carter, you're missing in-state safeties. Now you're going to have to go really spin for safety help, right? You're really going to have to go spin for safeties. You're going to have to – who's your edge rusher? Who's your – let me ask you this, because Braden Swinson ain't playing in the bowl game. I would advise him not to play. So let me ask you, who's going to rush the edge for you?
If Savion Jones wants to play in the bowl game, sure.
I mean, he's one edge, but I'm talking about your premier pass rusher based off of what you've done all year. Who is it?
All right, so it's going to be Relaford and Carpenter rotating at that other end
or
spot.
Or Kalaj Cobbins.
Let him rip it. Let's go, Cobbins. Let's go. But
speed. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean,
so there becomes a point. There becomes a point where. Okay, you got to be realistic with where you're currently at. So when I come out here and say that you need receivers, you need O-line, you need D-line, you need backers, you need safeties, you need corners, I feel like the woman that's talking about Thanksgiving, beans, greens, tomatoes, lambs, hams, rogs, dogs, you name it. Every single position group you need. Every one. There's not one that you don't need. You got to take at least one in every single position group.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking at D2 tight end highlights. I was like, I need to go touch grass. I need to.
Well, here's the thing about D2 and FCS or G5 guys. You got to go look at these guys' stats when they're going into the portal and asking yourself the question, okay, so an FCS guy had 20 and interior defensive lineman had 20 and a half tackles for loss. It's what Braden Fisk did. Braden Fisk had 20 and a half tackles for loss. Do you understand how insane that is? And then his big ass picks up a fumble from the Saints this weekend and takes that thing for 7.
That was insane. That was insane.
You know what it was? Let me tell you what it was. It was fate, because God knew that this was going to happen. And then I say, hey, you don't go out there and spend the money, and a fat-ass white dude is out there picking up a ball and scoring on you. Bro.
And Jared Verse had a good game, too.
He's stiff-armed a dude into the end zone. Do I sound too negative?
No, I think you're fair. Look, I'll say this. LSU, and we'll see what happens with Pickett tomorrow, but they have a massive corner issue. And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about the coaches per se, or I'm not talking about Zy Alexander, Ashton Stamps, or anyone like that. But like, this is and you talked about your forum. I shared this in my forum earlier. LSU's had 5 top 250 4-star DBs decommit in the last 3 cycles. So 5 different ones that were committed to LSU, and they decided to go somewhere else. And that's tough. And obviously that's not all on Corey Raymond. It's not all on LSU. There's a position coach change. But not only that is some of these corners.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna stop you. the issue that LSU had at DB started with Corey. Steeples inherited, and he couldn't do shit with it. And now Corey's got it back. Okay? I mean, Steeples didn't bring in the corners that he had in year one. He didn't. He had experienced guys that were mature and that he could talk to. Jared, let me tell you this. I have talked to, hung out with, and been around Jared Bernard-Converse. We interviewed him the year one that he came in here. Okay? Our conversations on YouTube. Love Jared Bernard-Converse. Love him. I don't know another LSU player that I've met in 4 years that is as football smart as him. No one. So DB, for what it's worth, since 2019 has taken a massive fall off. Massive. Colossal. So Corey was a part of that now. He was a part of that.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm just saying, like, over the losses of the first two cycles.
Fair.
But it's not just that. It's some of the corners that have walked have been good on other teams, right? Like, for instance, McLaughlin was a really good SEC corner when he left.
Oh.
And he's really good. Like, would he have been the absolute perfect scheme fit for what LSU did? Probably not, but he was really good. And then you had this weird Deuce Chestnut situation. So
and Denver Harris.
Right. But Denver Harris just turned out to be bad. Like, Deuce Chestnut comes over from Syracuse, and I know the SEC is tougher or whatever, but he was unplayable at LSU, and then he magically becomes a decent, like, FBS starting corner the next year, back at Syracuse this year. We really need to figure out why are we struggling at this position? I mean, this is the strongest.
Just in fairness, did you see Deuce Chestnut last week?
Oh, it was going up against Miami. That was the toughest matchup of the year.
So,
yeah, it was tough.
He had 2 passes defense, and he had 5 tackles.
It was a tough matchup.
So,
now go on.
Xavier Restrepo might be one of the best slot corners in all of the game, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, he's a record setter in Miami, yeah.
Right. He had 2 PBUs against arguably the best slot receiver in the game.
Yeah, that's why I texted you earlier today. I mean, I was like, I just kind of forgotten about him. And I've watched Fran Brown in Syracuse. And look, Fran Brown's a great defensive back coach. I mean, that's what he's known for.
Excuse me, he had 2. He had 2 assists. I don't know, the 2 PBUs.
Right. So why was he like just so god awful? And then he goes.
I'll tell you a story. He ran off. We were at practice one time. He ran off the field and said it was too hot down here. Swear to God, ask any media member that was there. He was talking to the media about how he was too hot.
Yeah, and I was like, what? It might have just been him. I don't know why I'm going on a random tangent about that, but it just adds to why the LSU difference. Well, and here's what I was thinking about this earlier today. It's just God punishing us for having great DBs for like an unreal amount of DBs.
Corner has not been as bad as safety. It hadn't been.
I agree, but it still hasn't been.
No, I'm with you. You're right. It hasn't. The biggest need that you need is safety.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
You need athletes. You know where I'm going? I'm going to the city of New Orleans. I'm going to the city of Baton Rouge. I'm going to Kentwood. I'm going to Amite. I'm going to Edna Carr. I'm going to up north. I'm going to Neville, and I'm finding the fastest son of a bitch that's on that team. I'm going to find athletes, and I'm going to say, you know what? I'm about to let's go. So what? You're only rated a 3-star. I'm going to find dudes. Let me tell you this. You know how a team like Georgia Tech beats Miami and goes toe-to-toe with Georgia and starts throwing haymakers with them? Because you know what their recruiting process was? We're going to get game changers. We're going to get dudes. And here's the truth. We ain't got no edge. You know, in 2019, man, I had that swag. You know what? We ain't got no swag right now. Instead of using Giorgio Armani cologne, we're using Axe body spray as our swag right now.
Why
We
did
ain't got
Axe-
no
why did-
swag.
Axe didn't deserve this. I mean, Axe didn't deserve the axe.
You're right. All right, listen. LSU basketball is taking on Florida State tonight, so we probably need to get out here a little bit soon and go watch that game. But Carter the Power Bryant, I kept it at right at 25 minutes. How about that?
Taco soup tonight. Let's go. We'll
All
talk
right,
to you.
see you later, buddy. That's Carter the Power Bryant. Thank you so much for joining us. But all right, we're out of here too. Y'all have a good night. Peace.